Hey y'all, my name is Vanessa it's late. I am staying up late today. And so I thought I'd come on here. Why not? It's been a while since I played the guitar, so let me try to break out some tunes. So I was watching the final World Series baseball game, and the Dodgers won. They went into overtime. It was pretty exciting. Then I came home and I started watching. What is it called? There's a Netflix show I'm watching, but it got a little bit too scary, so I had to switch. I had to change to watch something more. Oh wow, Kathy, thank you. Thank you so much, Kathy. How are you? Welcome to my live stream. I had to. What was I watching? I watched something a little more lighthearted. Kathy, what time is it where you're at? Hello, Al. I'm just gonna say AR. It's late and I'm just trying to stay up a little longer. And I don't care what my hair looks like because it's gonna be bedtime after this. You know what? I got good news that one of my cousins is getting married this month. Oh, hey, Caleb. I have a familiar face. Even in person, people always say, "Oh, you look familiar. You look like so and so." So, yeah, I'm excited about my cousin getting married. Weddings are beautiful and they don't happen often. Not too many folks want to get married, I guess. So I'm looking forward to that. So today is, well, it's almost over, but it's November 1st. Starting a new month is always exciting. It's like it's a fresh start for something new, to improve something, to challenge yourself. So I am going to challenge myself. This is going to be my challenge. So, because my cousin is getting married this month, I want to dance. So, I'm going to dance every night for exercise and just to get my body back into shape because it's been a while since I was dancing. So, that's going to be my challenge or my goal, whatever you want to call it. Vanessa's going to get her groove back. Vanessa's going to get her groove on. Now, if I could find me a partner to go with me to the wedding, that'd be even better, but I'm not counting on that. But I can count on myself having fun alone. Hi, English. Yes, y'all, I am staying up late. It's almost midnight. And I want to wait up for my child to get home. It's been a while since I've done a really late live. And I figured I would play this guitar that brings me peace. It's soothing. I had an emotional week, y'all. But I'm grateful. I'm thankful to the Lord. Life goes on. Just gotta take it one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, one step at a time, whatever it is that you need. Who's out there? How are you? What's going on? Tell me about yourself. I would love to know. Now, if I was really brave enough, I would sit outside. But I'm a little bit scaredy cat to sit in my back porch this late at night. Apparently, there's going to be a super moon coming November 5th. So in three, no, basically 4 more nights. Did anybody hear about that? Where did I see that? Excuse me. November 5th. Oh, so hopefully I can go live and look at the supermoon on November 5th with you all. Hey, 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 hallelujah, hallelujah. Okay, earlier this year is when I first started playing the guitar, and I really wanted to learn at least one song by the end of the year. I don't think that's gonna happen. um, but it was a goal. It was inspiring to think about it. What does this button do? Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm fighting my sleep, y'all. Did anybody watch the World Series game? The final. The final World Series game. Anybody watch it? I think they went, what, into the 11th inning? So they had 2 overtime innings. You know, one thing I'm thinking about right now is I was holding on hope, hoping that someone from my past would change and want to be back in my life and my son's life. And I gave them a few opportunities this basically last month, because now we're on a new month. And they didn't take those opportunities, but yet kept saying, oh, I miss you, I miss you. But I gave them 2 to 3 opportunities to show up, and they didn't. And now I'm wondering, I need to pray on it, okay? I need to pray to the Lord and ask, do I block this person? So, and just move on, like completely forget about this person and move on with my life. Sometimes you have to close doors completely shut and throw away the key. You know, sometimes it's a temporary closure, but I think this one needs to be closed shut. But I'm going to pray on it. Anybody else going through a breakup or been through one recently? This is not a recent breakup, but this is someone I was in a relationship with. And I wanted to believe they would be the person the rest of my life, husband. I've never been married. And it's hard to open your heart to someone new. Which is why I haven't done it many times. And I was just trying to give this person an opportunity. I'm not saying I'm perfect, y'all. But, yeah, so I was thinking about that. I was emotional over my son. Just a few things, every now and then. I get in my feelings and I have a good cry. And sometimes it's just easier to not put yourself out there, to keep your heart guarded. Sometimes that feels easier, but it doesn't feel better. It's easier, but it doesn't feel better. Yeah, so I'm going through that, y'all. Oh, Billy, welcome to my live stream. It is really late where I'm at. But I'm staying up late to wait up for my child. And, yeah, I just wanted company. I was watching TV, but I got bored of that. Roblox. Hello. Yeah, I just I pray for the Lord to protect my son, but I want to stay up and make sure I know he made it home safe. Chapter 6, verse 7, right? Real JP Roblox. I think there's okay, this is what I memorized from the book of Matthew, and I'm talking about the Holy Bible. Chapter 6, verse 7, it says that when you pray, you should not babble. Basically, keep your prayers short and sweet. What was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to share with you all. Oh, Billy says that's good. I'm sorry, things have been emotional. I understand. You have 5 kids. Sometimes I wonder, why did the Lord not put a husband in my path so far? Why did I just have one child? It's really lonely. I'm so thankful for the one child I have, the the most beautiful, precious gift, blessing I've ever received. Oscar, hello. Okay, does anybody, I'm just asking random questions to try to start conversation. Does anybody on here play football? Have a child that plays football? Uh, it was my son's, this is my son's senior year. So Friday was his last football game as a high school, player with the group, with the team that they had. Oh, Billy. I was kind of remembering you. Yes, I remember you did tell me. Keep praying for the right husband. Yes, that's what I'm doing. Well, anyways, y'all. My son's father, he is alive. But he lives in many states away. And my son only sees him a few weeks in the summer and like maybe a few days during his winter break. So when I knew my son for sure was playing football, like he was committed to it, I wanted him to start planning for his senior night. It's kind of a big deal for seniors when they play their last football game, their last baseball game, whatever. So I told my son, I'm like, okay, senior night is going to happen. And in case you don't know, it's us parents walk with you. There's going to be a presentation ceremony, whatever you want to call it. I said, so do you want your dad to be there so he can have time to plan it, get his plane ticket, whatever he needs to do? And my son was like, no. And I said, well, if you change your mind, be sure you tell him. So it just ended up being my son and I walking in the ceremony. And y'all, I felt good, but also we were my son was the only one that just had one person. A lot of the other football players had their mom and dad, or had mom and stepdad and dad and stepmom and siblings, or just had mom, dad, and siblings, whatever. Or even some brought their grandparents. My mother passed away 10 years ago. I know she would have been there had she still been alive. My father, I could not get a hold of him. I was calling him. I would go to his house. He wouldn't answer. He wouldn't pick up the phone. And I know he's okay because my brother was helping him fix one of his truck. So I know he's okay because my brother's been having conversations with him. But he didn't answer. I texted him, and I wanted my dad to come to the ceremony. I didn't think he would be well enough to walk, so we didn't plan for him to walk with my son, but it would have been nice, if he could. And so that made me a little emotional too, to know that my dad wasn't there. My brothers weren't there. Yeah. I don't know if it's just a test a reminder from God that we don't need anyone. We don't need anything but Him. I overthink things, y'all. I'm always overthinking. I need some water. Hey, Doug Dung. What? It was a beautiful day, though, for the last senior game. And I got a little bit of recording of it all. So what we did is had the last football team meal together, and us parents were invited. I was going before that. I would help serve. So I definitely showed up for this one. And us parents put together like a gift bag for each senior player. And I took pictures and enjoyed the moment. And then my son, he calls me because I went home and the football players stayed on campus, went to the locker room. They get their treatments, they get taped up. They do what they have to do to be ready for the game. And my son's like, Mom, he calls, he's like, Mom, I forgot my white socks. Can you bring me some? So there I go. So I record that. Like me walking and then him walking into the locker room afterwards. Then he calls me again and he's like, Mom, I thought I had my compression shirt, but I don't. So can you bring me my compression shirt? You know, these are the things I'm going to miss. But I did it. And then I recorded us getting ready for the ceremony because it happened before the game. And then of course I recorded it all. The ceremony. Each senior player wrote a little message to the parents. And my son was like, Mom, you're not going to hear it, read it until Friday night. That's when you'll hear the message. And y'all, my son, he had me almost crying because of the message he delivered for me. And then they presented us moms with a rose, which was nice. Billy says, I can see how that all would be hard, makes you feel alone and frustrated, but I know it meant the world to your son that you were there and he can count on you. Yeah, that's basically what his message kind of said. And I didn't care that it was just him and I and no one else. And my son, I think, was fine with it too. Oh, it was beautiful, y'all. It was really beautiful. My son's godparents did show up. They hadn't been to a game all year, so they showed up for the last game. My niece and her nephews, they were there for the ceremony and then they left. They didn't stay for the game. And my oldest nephew, he came. He didn't stay for the ending, which I wished he would have, because I would have been able to take a picture of him and my son together. And so then after the game ended, they played that song 5 minutes. 5 more minutes. There is lyrics in there that talks about walking to the 50-yard line and leaving your helmet there for the last time, or turning your helmet in at the 50-yard line or something like that. So that's what they did. The seniors walked to the 50-yard line. It was pretty emotional. A lot of A lot of the players were, the seniors were, they were crying. And I captured that footage. My son doesn't cry, y'all. He does not cry. And I told him, I was like, son, this is your moment. If you want to cry, let it all out. And he's like, if I do cry, it's because I'm in pain. He's like, my body took a beating tonight. And I didn't realize in the moment, but he like had cuts and there was blood just falling down his legs and stuff. So we just hugged, took in the moment together. And then I took pictures of him with his friends, friends that were football players. Okay. Billy's asking, once your son moves out and starts his own life, do you think that you will focus more on finding a husband? I don't know, Billy. I don't know what the future holds. I want to say that I will. But I don't know. That's the song, Billy. Yep. And it says the next time I get in here, which is coming to a football game, I'm gonna have to buy a ticket. Yep. And because it was Halloween, the crowd was really small for that last football game. It kind of, it really wasn't fair, because there's people who had commitments, whether it was because of work. You know how some organizations do a Halloween carnival and they have to show up. So it was a small crowd. And one thing I did like is the cheerleaders at halftime, they danced to the Michael Jackson Thriller song. That was a highlight. And then for every touchdown we had, they did have fireworks, which I don't think they ever did that before. There was some really cool moments, I like to see the best, remember the best part. So then I made my own little video of the whole day, of everything that I recorded. And I included that song, the last 5 minutes, 5 more minutes. And then I posted it to my personal Instagram and shared it to my personal Facebook for family who didn't attend. And just because I'm a proud mom, I wanted to share with everyone. I was like, all the money spent on cleats and equipment, the long practice hours per day, having my son to keep up his grades, the travel time, what else did I say? The trips to urgent care and the long nights. It was priceless. And I would do it all again, for my kid. And I'm so proud of him for keeping up with everything he did, keeping his grades up, pushing himself to get better, From his freshman year to his senior year, he lost a lot of weight. He lost a lot of weight, y'all. Of course, he got taller, he lost weight, he got stronger, he got faster. What else was I thinking? I just lost my train of thought, y'all. Yeah. I don't know what other high schools do, but I have seen the last 5 minutes, like little video clips. They actually, like, people did pictures of that. You know, I don't know if he'll get to play football in college. He says he wants to try. Um, you know, whatever God has in store for him, we don't know. But he never had a solid football season. He would get injured and he'd be out for a game or two. And so, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it, y'all. Football is hard. It's hard on the body. Years ago, I was security for that country artist. Are you serious, Billy? That is so cool. When he would play in your town. As a mother, I don't know if I would want my son to continue football because it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to see my kid get banged up. Oh, that's what I was going to say. He went through so much. He would get injured a lot. But he stayed out there. He would give it his all to the very end of the game. And he never gave up. He never once said after a game, I'm giving up, you know, because maybe he got beat, like the whole team lost, or he just really physically got beat. Because sometimes accidentally you get piled on, right? After the play or whatever, somehow you might be the one at the bottom of the pile. And we're talking like heavyweights, the O-liners. That can mess up your knee. Lots of things get messed up. And he kept going. And it was so cool because even when there wasn't official football practice, him and his friends would call each other up, meet up at the park. There was like this green area. There is a green area by the high school. And they would go and practice for hours just because, you know? So I'm just thinking about it. I would drop him off before he could drive, before he had a vehicle. I would drop him off there, pick him up. Even I missed, because now he's got a car, I missed waiting for him after practice. Because I would go and wait 30 minutes or so for him to get out of practice, because they wouldn't end at the exact same time. This is football, y'all. They would just end whenever it seemed like a right time to end. So sometimes I would be waiting in my car for him to pick him up for 30 minutes or so. Or even pulling up after a football game in the pickup line to pick him up, or seeing their school bus pull in from an away game and waiting to pick him up, take him home. So many things. Yes, Billy, it is dedication. There's kids that started, the freshman year they played, then they didn't come back. Or they decided to play freshman and sophomore year, but they didn't go back to football. Even some of them played through junior year, quit, and didn't go back. So he stayed with it. Yeah. There was how many seniors? I think there was 13 seniors. Yeah. He's going to play baseball for sure. So we're going to go through this again. There's going to be a senior night again for baseball. I don't know if he'll play. That's going to be in the spring, and so there's a season in between. I don't know if he's going to play a sport. Yeah, there's going to be more fun times for sure. I really was hoping that before football season even started, I was really praying that the Lord would send me my future husband before, so I could have someone go with me to my son's games, to make those memories together. But that came and went, and there was no one. Oh, that's good, Billy. Your daughter's confidence has been built up with track. I'm so thankful that my son plays sports because you really do form a bond. I used to play sports in high school. You form a bond with that group of people. You travel together. You spend so many hours together. You have the same goal. You have the same purpose. You help each other out with homework and whatever if you need it. I'm so glad that my son, and there's discipline. There's so much discipline that you learn, or it grows. You're just, I don't know how I'm trying to word that. What time is it? Did my phone? Oh, yes, Billy. I've been reading 31 Prayers for My Future Husband by Erin Smith, and I can't remember her name. And I'm in week 22 because I'm doing one prayer per week, and I'm almost like losing hope. I'm losing hope in finding my husband, but yeah. I pray for my future husband, or I pray for the Lord to take that desire from me. I don't know which one he will give me, but hello, Ahmed. I'm doing good. As good as I can be. Oh, you did, Billy. Wow. I don't understand how I'm 45 and still not married. I guess I've given up hope because I feel like my best version of myself has passed. So what do I have to offer someone as an older person now? Does that make sense? My name is Vanessa. I don't have a nickname. I mean, there's people who try to make a nickname out of Vanessa, but I officially don't have a nickname. Also, reading that book, 31 Prayers for My Future Husband, it is extremely intentional in praying for a future husband. And it's to the point where I'm like, this man is like, that I'm praying for it because of the book is just too perfect. Like, I don't think he would exist. Billy says, I'm 41, she's 36. I know what you mean. She met me in the lowest part of my life, but God's hand was upon it, and we have grown a lot in 3 years. Aw. Yeah. I'm always striving to improve myself, but I feel like I'm not truly my best version. But you know what? There is one of the football players' dads. He has always been like a really big support for my son. He's always cheering him on. He right along with his own son. And I always just wondered, like, why does he choose to cheer for my son over everybody else? Like, you could just tell he did a little bit more for my son than any other of the players. And so I'm thankful, you know, that he would cheer him on. So, and his wife always posts pictures, and they're like, we're so proud of your son, you know. They put pictures of him on their Facebook. And so after the game Friday, that boy's dad gave my son a long hug. It was really sweet. And I think a lot of people just really, I don't know if they feel sorry for my son because they know his dad isn't around, or if my son just has a really good personality and touches their heart, you know what I mean? But a lot of the parents, they're just really good people. Billy says self-doubt and regret can be hard, but I have seen you on here and have heard your love for Jesus, your hardworking attitude, and your realness. Respectfully, you are attractive and have a lot to offer. Thank you, Billy. Ahmed, I don't really understand you. Be confident, put yourself out there and see what God does with it. I know. I am kind of scared to love again. But of course, if it's the right person, then there's no reason to be afraid, right? But yeah. There is a church that does single gatherings for over 45, which is a group I'm going to. Soon. I'm going to be brave enough. I'm going to go and see what it's all about. It's not ideal location, but yet close enough. Like, say I do find someone who lives in that area, it would kind of be long distance for what I define long distance relationships as, but it's close enough. Lively! It is very late, and here I am. Yep, I'm up here, staying up late, waiting on my child. Oh, hey, Karen's husband. I'm glad you have a great relationship with your wife. Welcome to my live stream. You're walking your dog this late? Oh my goodness. The Dodgers won. Yes, I was watching the game. Billy says my wife lived 20 hours away in Arizona when we met, and I made the drive 5 times in 6 months. Oh my goodness, really? I don't know if I'm open to that kind of a long distance relationship. But I realize I am limiting myself by trying to just find someone local. I don't know. I'm trying to teach myself, Billy. I'm not really doing anything though. Just finding a tune that sounds good to me. But thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to enjoy the moments before my son, if he decides to move out, before he does that. I try not to think too much on it because then it makes me sad. Okay, so there is someone in my past, okay? Who I kind of left the door open, right? I didn't. I did no. It's closed, but I didn't throw away the key. And I was talking about how I have given them like 3 opportunities just in last month, because they'll text me every now and then. I miss you, and I'm like, okay. Action speaks louder than words. You can tell me all you want you miss me, but if you don't show it, then it means absolutely nothing to me. So I invited them to a game in their city where they were living at. They didn't show up. I think I mentioned, maybe it was just 2 times. I definitely invited them to senior night because they knew my son. They saw him grow up for a few years, and I'm like, I messaged quite a few people inviting them to my son's senior night, but only a handful showed up. And so, since they did not show up those 2 times that I gave them an opportunity, I'm thinking it's time for me to lock that door up and throw away the key. AKA block them on my phone and just not talk to them anymore. I think that's what I need to do. Oh, really lively. So you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, I don't miss my ex. I don't, because there's plenty of reasons why I ended that relationship. But as a Christian person, I have forgiven them, and I believe that they will change and be more Christ-like, you know? But like I said, I gave them those 2 opportunities. And they didn't show up. So I don't think they're the. I just can't. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. I think it's just time to cut it. Cut them off. Yeah, because there's a little tiny bit of hope. Like, okay, you sent me the message that you missed me. So there's a little bit of hope that you really mean that. And so you would show up. And because you know why I ended it, that maybe they have changed and, show up as a changed, improved person. Yeah. It's like, there's that saying, if someone doesn't, if you're not important to anyone, then, what is that saying? I think you guys know what I'm saying. If someone doesn't make you important, then you shouldn't either, or something like that. Billy says, I'm sure you know this, but sometimes building a strong friendship is best, and of course, make sure they are truly Jesus loving men, that they walk the walk. It is too funny. My son's godmother and I were talking. We got there at the game really early, so we had a lot of time to talk before the game started. And we were talking about that, and she's my cousin. She's like, you know, I don't remember what she said. Don't have like really high expectations for your future husband. I'm not sure how she was trying to say it. But she's like, give give someone a chance even if you don't think they will meet your standards, because maybe you'll get to know them or something like that, and they're going to be who you need. And then my best friend, she wasn't able to make it to the game last night, but she called me this morning and we were talking about that as well. She's like, you have to be careful who you pray for. Um, because she was talking about her own experience. Yeah, my number one thing is for them to be a Jesus loving man. Truly live it. Know Jesus and live Christ like. Because again, there's some people who be like, yes, I believe in Jesus Christ, but they don't live like Jesus Christ. And that's not going to work for me. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. I don't know. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Ahmed, you probably can go to another live stream because we do not think the same. We use the website Christian Dating for free. You think it still exists? I'll look that up. I was doing Facebook dating because that it just seemed to make sense because I already have a Facebook profile and I can look at their profile and see if we have any friends in common. But I decided to pause it for the remainder of the year because it was depressing. I was on there from February until about, I think, September-ish is when I paused it, and not having any luck. So I'll have to check this one out. Christian Dating for free. Yeah. That's probably why you had to drive so far. Because, well, when I did try a Christian dating site, there was not a lot of people on there. I mean, it was such a small number of people that even just lived in Arizona. It was probably a handful. Yeah, Billy, that's the kind of story I hope to have, that my future husband, we don't need to date long before we get married, because we will know. We will just know. PG. I'm not your baby. I think you have me confused with somebody else, PG. And it's late. I'm up late. I am not up early. Yeah, I don't want to be engaged to someone for 5 years. I would hope to be engaged less than a year and like be married by a year of dating. That's what I would hope. So we can start forever together sooner than later. Okay, y'all. It looks like my son is on his way home. Ahmed, we're not meant to be friends. Sorry. Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Because I don't understand you and we don't have the same. We don't think the same about Jesus Christ. I need to be surrounded by people who believe the same as I do when it comes to Jesus Christ. I want to be around people that I can understand. um, You know what, Billy? I hope there will be a day alive where I can introduce, yeah, definitely, where I can introduce my future husband. Definitely. My job is going, Billy. I'm losing interest in it though. I'm ready to go on to another job to learn it. I like to learn. Um, I think after the holidays, or maybe even like a mid December ish, or even December 1st, I think I'm going to start looking for a different job and hopefully like go through the interview, get hired sometime in January, after the holidays. Yeah, maybe it's time for me to move on. I don't know if I what my dream job is anymore. It's wherever I will support the mission, be okay with the environment, be good with the people, the distance, the location, and you know what I mean? And it be enough to pay my bills. That's what it is at this point in my life. I Okay, this is what I've learned about myself. I like new things. I like trying for new jobs, new positions, learning it, and then moving on to something else. And then learn that, and then move on to something else. It would be nice to stay with the same company if I could do that, but if not, then I've got to go from one company to another to another. And I've wanted to have my own business, but I don't know what my business would be. So we'll see. We'll see what God has for me. I like to solve things. I like to solve and improve the process, the everything. I like to fix things, solve them, make them better. What type of business? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what it would be. Okay, Billy says he also has a desire to have his own business, solve and improve. But not necessarily people, just systems, process. I don't know. Would I want to be a therapist? I mean, being a therapist is, I think, I'm gonna tell y'all. I've gone to a few therapists, and they're biased, you know, they're coming from their own experience. Sometimes I just don't know. I feel like that's a waste of money. Oh, that sounds bad. My best therapist is God. So maybe I could be a coach, a life coach, not necessarily a therapist. So I have considered being a life coach. I don't know what I need to do for that, but hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I used to listen to this person. He was a guy, okay? He called himself a life coach. And I was like, what made him qualified to be a life coach? I think it's just something he gave himself. And he would charge, I don't know, $45 an hour or something back then. And I'm like, people will really call and pay, you know? Sometimes I think about it. I think about going to a church. There's plenty of churches where I live at that I could probably go every weekend to a different church to see, explore, you know, what feels good with my soul, feels right, aligns with my soul, my spirit. I get confused about spirit and soul. You know, when the weather is cooler, which it finally has cooled, I am more willing to go out, to go places. I'm in a better mood when it's cooler weather. So I don't know. I might just want to go check out churches soon. Um Life should be a little less chaotic with my son finishing football. Um I have basically one more month of college classes and then my college classes are over. I don't know if I want to pursue that anymore. I have to pray on that. Hmm. Okay. I would have thought those were like soul is eternal and then spirit is your intellect. But anyways, yeah, I'm trying to I may find someone at church. I may not. If I change if I go find a job somewhere else, I may find someone there. I may not. These are all things I don't know, but at least I should try. I am going to classes for criminal justice. Yeah, I don't remember where I heard it, but someone said they recommend that you change careers every 15 to 20 years. So I'm at that mark where I I'm possibly switching careers. And criminal justice was something I wanted to do. There was 3 things I wanted to do when I was a senior in high school, and I ended up taking the business route. But now I'm going to look into the criminal justice path and see if that takes me anywhere. Really, a public safety officer. I'm thinking I might want to be a judge. Might want to go into politics. Like maybe not be the main political person, but be an assistant to a politician or something. I don't know. I might want to be an investigator. Might combine my business and criminal justice and go into forensic accounting, or I'm trying to remember what federal government, like work for the IRS and do investigate fraud, or is that the FBI? I don't know. I don't know where it will take me, but I know it's going to be fun, exciting, interesting. And even if I don't finish these classes, I think I've got enough to move in that direction anyways. You know, enough college credits. You liked being the safety officer for 5 years. That is so cool. I couldn't ever see myself being an officer, you know. I don't think so. Or even just being a dispatcher to help, you know, take the phone calls, direct them, help people over the phone. Oh, look, we were thinking the same thing. Yeah. It seems like there's always a job opening for dispatcher here where I'm at in my location. Because this is the thing. Once my son is, you know, 18, doing his own thing, I wouldn't mind working the graveyard shift. I wouldn't mind working on the weekends. Right now, I want to only work Monday through Friday during my son's school hours, you know? So there's going to be a whole different world that I'm going to be shifting into soon. And I might decide to have 2 jobs, not just one, but maybe even 2 to to keep me occupied and pass the time. Oh wow, 15 years. Yes. I'm trying to charge my phone and charge my device that I'm going live off of at this, like switching them back and forth. Pinal County. I do have a cousin who works for Pinal County in the sheriff's department. Yeah, she does work for the sheriff. Well, one thing I do know, I would not want to be like an officer for inmates, because like you're saying, after so many years of, this is what I've heard, of people walking in their boots on the hard concrete, they have so many foot problems and knee problems. Yeah, my cousin likes it. She has worked her way up to be, I don't remember what her title is, but she has worked her way up. I mean, she went to college, earned her criminal justice degree, and she's been there for a long time. Oh my goodness, y'all. Yeah, I hope that I'll pray with you that your knee is strengthened so that you can go into law enforcement. All right, y'all, my son is almost here. I'm going to end and like go finish getting ready for bed, like wash my face and stuff like that. I brushed my teeth already. But yes, thank you for hanging out, Billy. Thank you for keeping me company. I hope y'all have a beautiful, blessed day, night, whatever it is. Hope you liked. I don't come on live as often anymore because it just wasn't good for my, I don't know, going live like I was just wasn't working out for me. So that's why I really limited my lifetime. But I definitely do my prayer and Bible time every morning. So yeah, peace be with you, and know that Jesus Christ loves you the most. Hope to see you next time.